All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Show and Tell What the Hell. And today is a very special episode. Actually, I wish most of my episodes were like this one because it's kind of what I feel should be the this was originally my intended vision, but I don't have enough of this stuff. I just need to bust them out. I have a storage of stuff like this, like really weird random. I mean, to me it's not weird and random. It's what I grew up with. But I'm going to be real careful with this shit right here. This is an old school comic bag with tape on there. Who knows how old this tape is? But, damn it. I'll try very hard. Like, I need to get a nice protective case. If anyone could recommend a good case for this, the standard Star Wars one won't fit on this. So I have to do some more research, I suppose. But this is a figure that's very near and dear to my heart. Figure line from back in the 80s called Crystar, the saga of Crystar, Crystal Warrior. I must have gone through, I don't know, maybe the box is a little torn here, but I must have gone through so many of these just because they would always end up breaking. They're recommended for 4 years or older, but this is 1982, so I was like, what? I'm not going to reveal my age, but I was a young child and I wasn't really, didn't take a lot of responsibility. Crystar Moltar. I like that Moltar had a name, but like his henchman was just Magma Man. He didn't have a name. He's just like, you're a Magma Man. That's what you are. Warbow was pretty cool. Feldspar. I have a Feldspar actually put away somewhere. I liked Feldspar because he was half magma, half crystal. But it somewhere in the universe exists Crystallium, a world where magic reigns. After a cosmic demon war, the brothers Crystar and Moltar became rulers of Crystallium. Yes, when brothers got pitted against it was a big sibling rivalry thing. One turned into a crystal man, and the other turned into a magma man. And it's a pretty cool figure. I mean, it's made out of this translucent plastic. There weren't a lot of those toys back when. It was a very rigid, hard, translucent plastic. Has a shield and has like this little prisma crystal that you would do something with it, and I never really got the effect, but you would see these little, I guess you're supposed to see, I would only see like different colors, but it would not take me into the crystal realm. But whatever. Collect them all, it says. But these were a comic book series also on Marvel Comics. So I'm going to put this aside right here. And it's Remco was a pretty cool line because I also put out these He-Man size figures. I remember getting these at places like Woolworths, Munden's, Perry's, and other stores like that. And I used to think somehow he was related to Black Star, Crystar, Black Star. That's how I pronounce the name, by the way, Crystar. Even though it says it's like based out of like crystal, but I've heard that some people say Crystar, but I say Crystar. It just sounds cooler like that. And here's what the figure looks like when not. Of course, he's missing all his accessories, but this is probably like the fifth one that I have. I tried very hard not to break this one because they would always end up breaking the chest. This was so brittle, and to this day, like I have figures that are made out of translucent plastic that are very like I guess rigid and thin that they would end up breaking. Not the arms or the legs though. Those are a little bit more of a, I guess if you want to get it to look very translucent, you would have to use a thinner plastic, right? This is a little bit more pliable, a little bit more flexible in the arms, like Star Warsy, whereas this is just like glass. It just sucks. But I don't even want to move the head too much because I'm still afraid that it would break. But this is your Crystar figure. It was just a very cool line. And Crystar is actually what got me into Danzig because Danzig's logo was was it Crystar number 3, 4, 5, or 6, one of those. And you see the big Danzig logo that he stole it from. And I mean, he borrowed it from the Crystar comic book. I mean, he'd be the first to admit it. That's where he got it from. But that Danzig logo he used in Sam Hain, and then later on with Danzig, it's like, hey, that's from the Crystar comic. And I remember picking up the first Danzig. Was it on cassette? I got it on. Not knowing too much about that, so it was. Crystar's pretty cool, man. It takes me back to that world of sword and sorcery, just where it was about swords and sorcery, right? Just barbaric times, and you had these things like He-Man, Black Star. You had Herculoids. You had Thundar the Barbarian. That was just very cool back when. And movies like Hundra, The Sword and the Sorcerer, Conan, of course. That world from the like mid 70s to the mid 80s was just so awesome. You know, it was just so. I don't know. I thought that when I would get old, I would turn it, things would be like barbarian style, you know, that or like the future. But I thought that I was going to be like, I'm going to be a barbarian when I grow up. I really liked Crystar. I thought it was an interesting thing. He's still part of the Marvel Universe. It's a shame. Was that show? I think it was Avengers World's Mightiest Heroes, maybe. The Disney one that came out and they replaced it with another Avengers series. The lost season was supposed to have Hulk fight. I think it was like I think it was Planet Hulk, and they had him pitted against Crystar. And I saw a drawing of that. I'm like, oh, I really wish they would bring Crystar back in some way, shape, or form. Now, I do have a custom I'll be showing later on. It just broke. Yeah, because it's made out of translucent plastic. There was a guy online that was actually selling Masters of the Universe classic size Crystar figures, and I don't think that ever panned out. I don't think I'd like to know if anyone ever got a hold of those, or yeah, from last I heard, he had a Kickstarter and it just didn't go through, or he went through, but nobody got their orders and there were some issues. So I would have liked to have seen those come to light. I would like to complete this figure, the loose one, and get a helmet. I'd like to get a case for this as well before there's more damage to the bottom of that. I may try to see about sealing it myself down there, but what's cool, I forget about this, but there is the shape of the blister itself here is a crystal, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I do have a crystal dragon too, but it doesn't have any wings. That's what he would ride on, the crystal dragon, and he lived in the crystal castle. Crystal everything. Come on. But I'd like to see some more. There's a lot of cool sword and sorcery style Marvel and DC stuff from the 80s that was, Warlord. That's another thing I want to show you all soon. Warlord, you got like, was it a Thorak, or what's his name? Of course, you got the Savage Land stuff. You got the Claw from DC. You got Beowulf. And there's another guy that was out there that was pretty cool. Well, there's Arak, Son of Thunder, was pretty cool too. So there's just a whole bunch of this pretty neat. Oh, Red Sonja. Sword and Sorcery world. That was the Savage world, and I think Crystar, while it kind of teeters a tiny bit into sci-fi, tiny bit, it's definitely more sword and sorcery than anything. And I am definitely, this is one of my favorite pieces of my collection, is this Crystar figure. So anyway, folks, I'd like to show off more of this kind of stuff, and I hope you all would like to see it. So if you are selling any Crystar stuff, let me know too. I'd be interested in checking out your collection and purchasing it. Anyway, folks, look me up on Instagram, Pteranodon Media. A lot of cool stuff coming out. Custom figures, heavy metal, just a bunch of shit. And yeah, of course, I always appreciate the subscriptions because I'd like to do some live chats with you guys. Talk about toys, talk about music, talk about 80s wrestling and all sorts of crazy stuff. So, till next time, folks, you guys take care. Be safe. We'll see you later on.